Welcome to the Call to Action podcast with Nicole Magic, where conscious awakened leaders listen and action takers are rewarded. Join us for the insightful wisdom of today's special guest with an irresistible offer. All right. Hello, everybody. This is Nicole Magic with the Call to Action podcast, where professional service providers and strategists share their wisdom. It's short and sweet because we value everyone's time and energy, so let's get on with it. Welcome today, Nancy. I love that you're here with me, and I want everybody to hear exactly what you do in your words. So in a few sentences, can you tell us who you are, amazing lady, and what you do?
Absolutely. And first, thank you for the invite. Really appreciate you, Nicole. You are awesome. Well, it's very simple. I've been recognized as a business growth strategist, and I help businesses find a minimum of doubling their, basically I help them double and triple their leads. I help them double and triple their net profit at the end of the year. There's so many amazing good stuff. And really, honestly, it's all about saving money, making money, and finally having a life, because I do believe, myself being a business owner, we're parents, we're spouses, we have a house, we've got life, we forget that actually still exists. So it's really important that I bring that out there. I'm definitely not a therapist, not even close to it. But what's the most important is that we work with the 80-20 rule. 80% of your business, 80% of what you do, let's go again. 20% of what you do is what brings 80% of your revenue. And most businesses that we meet, it's actually the opposite. So that's my number one motto that I work with.
Excellent. And that is a very important model to work with, because it's huge. And when we start to really understand that, we make it work for us instead of just doing busy work, right?
Absolutely. Well, it's actually all about the small incremental changes that we make. Some people think that it's so many big things that we have to do, and it's really small little things, the right things, and we do it properly. It's not just about listening to all the gurus and say, oh yeah, it's us. You've got your one landing page away from being a millionaire. You're totally not. Really, there's about 20,000 steps that need to be taken before. If not, it's not going to work, and so on.
I think that's really important. And that is one thing that I work with my clients too, is those small steps yield big results. It's the consistency of those small steps when you keep doing it and you incrementally up them little by little. So we do that in different ways with how we work with our clients. So I love that too. That was one of my favorite things in one of our other conversations, that I was like, yeah, that's it. Just a different way. So
but you're right, it's some of those little changes that we have to do that we're sometimes just not educated to see that, and we don't see that always on Google, right?
No.
So yes,
absolutely. So tell us, what wisdom would you like to share with the audience here today?
It's a very good question. I will have to say, as an experienced consultant in the past and coach, so just to differentiate the difference, because many people still don't know the difference, but consultant, basically, long story short, does the work for you, tells you what to do.
Right.
Where as a coach, I don't do the work for anyone. I ensure that we dissect all the information out of their brain, because they are the expert in what they do. And we work with, with the knowledge they have. So if I go a little bit further, a lot of companies, they'll go and hire a company to do their funnel, to do their website, to do their, whatever else that they need to do. And I'm not against delegating. Actually, I'm for delegating. But what I am against is when we hire somebody and we are not even holding them accountable for anything, because we just don't know what we don't know. Right. So if we're not taught how to do something, or how to, I don't know, I'm giving you an example. We want to do a website, and we just say, okay, Mr. Website Designer, please make my website look pretty and look good. That's all they do. They're not made to convert your website, to get leads, to convert your clients into sales. and into meaningful sales, right? Not only just selling to sell. And the other big thing, I'll add another one, is we're in an era right now that we have to do two things. We must educate, so we must give value. Some people are like, oh my God, I can't give all my stuff. No, give it away. The most important, it's not the giving away. It's the hardest part for business owners is actually taking all that information and actually implementing it. I mean, I know businesses, they give everything away. I used to even give some of my mini MBA away. And I did a test for a few months. I gave it to 3 people that literally, like, they couldn't afford it. Fine, I'm a giver, so I have no problem. And they did absolutely nothing. So I asked them, I said, look, I'm going to give you another month. If I don't see that you have any action in it, then let me just take it away from you. And they said, no, 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 please don't take it away yet. I gave them another month. And guess what they did? Nothing.
Nothing.
So it's really about, today we're in a world where Google, I mean, there's not like 3 gazillion, there's 55 gazillion pages out there. We don't know what works, what doesn't, what's proven, what's tested. We don't know. I mean, as a beginner, right? How many startups have opened over the pandemic? So many businesses have opened. And even the ones who are in business for 30 years, they're still all over the place. They're still overspending their money. Their accounting, most of them, is not even done correctly. When it comes to marketing, they're like, okay, let's go do a Facebook ad because we know it works. And we see all these gurus saying that it works, but they're not going back to the basics. They're not going back to the foundation and the fundamentals before they actually put those together. So those are the 2 most important things that I can pass on to your crowd.
That's awesome. And can you also add, because I know about your process, and I think that it's fascinating what you do and how you do it and how simple it seems once you understand what your process is. So
Absolutely.
can you just give the audience a snippet on what is your process to take somebody through? Because if I'm sitting out in the audience right now saying, I don't know if I need Nancy, I'm not really sure. So, and I don't want to waste anybody's time. I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste your time. What's the process?
I appreciate it.
What does that look like for me?
Well, when the pandemic came, I had to find a process with my team and say, okay, guys, yes, the COVID was a tragedy, but it was also a land of opportunities where it was a time for businesses to take a strategic approach because they had the time. Some decided to hang out on Netflix for 3 months and some decided to take a strategic approach. Well, I was into hanging out with those that wanted to do a strategic approach. So basically, I wrote my first book a few years ago. I had my second book written already, but when the pandemic hit, I didn't put it out. And by the way, I don't sell my books. I do give my book. I don't need to sell my book. I give it because it's kind of like a give back to the world. Here's a little gift. It's 47 pages. Nobody can tell me they don't have time to read it in 30 minutes. If not, they don't have time to really do. Then we have another problem that we got to deal with. But basically, I interview business owners, experienced business owners. They don't have to be the leaders. I don't care if they've got 6 months experience or 30 years experience. They've got some type of experience. And I basically show them strategies from my first book, ask them insights about their industry. So there are specific industries that I do like. I mean, there are some industries that were not on my list that I interviewed as well. So don't shy away if you're not on my list. I'm always open to new industries because, there's so many out there that need this type of service out there. And I find out really what your insights, comments, quotes are about those strategies. And I really want to show you strategies that do work. So I don't need to know if they actually work. I know they work. I want to know, what do you think? Is your industry using them or not? Why or why not? Is it the fact that they're not educated on it? Is it the fact that they don't know? Are they procrastinators? What is it? Just so that I, on a high level, to understand that industry. The reason why I do this is for 2 reasons. Because not everybody that I do an interview with will ever become my client. My number 1 reason, first, I love to network. So I do have a networking group that's you're not going to find on LinkedIn. It's a very private one, cherry pick people in there. This is more for, I love what you do, Nicole. I will refer business to you. And that's, we got to really know each other, really get to know the industry. If everything goes well, and I do give a lot of gifts in between as well. Everybody deserves a few gifts, and the thank you for the time that they've given me and all the great information they've given me. And, there are other gifts that I give at the end. One of them would be, and again, it's not for everybody, unfortunately, but it does take an hour and a half of my time. So it really depends on how the process goes, where I'm able to help that business now find a minimum of 100,000. Sometimes I'm finding them 300,000, 500,000. I had a company, 4 million. I found them over 1 million in about an hour and a half. And these are all strategies the business is not using. I call them hidden revenues, and show them how they can go and get that revenue. I give them a 12-month implementation plan. See, I'm a giver. I like to give, because at the end, a lot of businesses, they appreciate those reports, but most of them actually don't apply them. And if they want my help and we're both on the same page and we would be a perfect fit, I believe in the person, meaning they're coachable, they're ready to do whatever it takes. Then we talk about how we work together from there.
Committed. They've got to be committed.
That's the perfect word.
Definitely.
And that's why I'm being honest, Nicole. There are some businesses that refer business to me. I do not take any referrals from that person unless we've actually gone through the process. Because how can you, I know you like me, that's great, and we have a great connection, that's great, but I prefer you to add a little touch and say, I love what she does, but you won't know what she does unless we actually, take some time together, right? And not all referrals I take on as a client. I'll talk to the person, but if they're really not into doing what they got to do, it's okay. When they're ready, they can call, and if I've got space, we'll take it from there.
Absolutely. And we started some of that process where I find it fascinating what you do and how you do it, especially being an analytical mind, right? It's the data, and you're showing me data that makes sense. And you can say, oh, well, look at that. And ooh, look at the opportunity there, right? And with numbers. So there's a solid piece that, even though it could be like a range, that you're looking at it saying, but that's my range. Like, that's the range that I could tap into, right?
Absolutely.
So I love that. And I love feeling this process out. And maybe we'll just have to have, another gathering and recording when it's all said and done, so that I can talk a little bit more about that. But I'll be able to say that to some people.
I'm ready when you are, my friend.
Love it. So let me move on into what obstacle became your greatest opportunity, because that's where there's this cool place when we go through, whether it's a hardship, an obstacle, whatever the adversity is, it helps us to grow. It's an awareness to grow. And if you grab hold of it, it can become your greatest opportunity. So I want to know what's yours.
I actually have two. Can I share two?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
please.
It's kind of, my first one was probably when I first started in 2007. People all over were like, Nancy, you can't be a business owner. Go get a job. Go get your health, dental, and eye insurance. I'm like, you want me to go get a job to go get health, dental, and eye insurance? That's a problem for me. My daughter was also born on that year. And it was really important for me to find something that I could spend more time at home. It wasn't about money. It was really, I've seen lots of parents go through the 9 to 5 or whatever the hours they do, come home, make dinner, never have time with their husband, their kid, their whatever. I didn't want that. So it was tough. Not saying it's easy. It was not easy at all. But that, bark, I'm going to call it bark for the moment, because it's exactly what it was. I didn't think about it like that in the beginning, but you can't really was tough, because I was like, no, I can stop it. I can. Right. So that was hard for a few years, but I had great mentors and great coaches around me that really brought me out of that bubble. And today, I don't care what anybody says about anything. I stand for me. Right. not for
Yes.
what they've had. So that's my number one. Yeah, thank you. And, and that's to anybody that's listening too. If you have a product or a service that will be used out there, you have a problem that they have that they don't want. You have a solution that they want that they don't have. And you're able to put that together and show the world what differentiates you from the last or the rest, I don't know, business coach or plumber or whatever you do, what differentiates you, like, go for it, right?
Yeah. Find your people.
Exactly. My second obstacle, it's a funny one. I actually touched on it a little bit, is I used to consult more than coach. And I used to have companies pay 10, 20,000 a month to our team. So it wasn't about the money. Like, it never has to do with the money. It has to do with me losing sleep and me waking up in the morning saying, oh yeah, that was like such a great, like, I'm ready to start an amazing day and talk to awesome owners. It's the going from consulting to coaching. It was really hard for me in the beginning. And I'm being honest, God was knocking at my business door for years. And I didn't understand why. And, it's not on my time, it's on his. Well, I eventually learned it through people that, that came into my life and say, no, you got to coach more than consult. And that idea is what I said before, where I'd rather not tell people what to do. I'd rather teach people how to do it, but then get all their insights. So coming back to the, what is your problem that you have that you don't want? What is the solution that you want that you don't have? I don't know that. You're the owner. And if you're going to go and hire a website designer or somebody that's going to help you with your funnel or whatever you need them to do, if you don't know what they need to do and hold them accountable, it's a big problem. But most business owners, they don't understand that because they're not taught that, right? So I learned it the hard way, but it was the best decision ever. It's glorifying. It's honestly, it's amazing.
Nice.
Mm.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, you too. Thank
Love
you.
hearing those things.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, it's that realization that some of us don't realize. And this is why I do the interviews, because it all comes in a circle, coming back to what I love to do every day. I don't just do interviews because they take me an hour each time. I don't do them just to do them and waste my day. Like, I don't know. Like, you should see my schedule, right? But because I enjoy it, when what we get out of the interview, I'm getting your insights, but I'm also giving you some incredible strategies you can literally pick up today and start using them. It's not costing you anything. Keep all the profits, have fun. You need help, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. And I really do believe that, when you show that massive value, when you show the value of what you can provide, the rest just falls into place because
Oh, yes.
We talked about the whole non-scarcity, right? Like elevating each other, being in a place where, you can help somebody out who does the same exact thing that you do even. And because there's enough for everyone. And
Oh, yes.
it is about togetherness, unification, and, elevation of each other.
Yeah.
And when you look at it, it's like, some people they're scared to give away the info because of why they think that they're going to give that away and then they're not going to be needed, right? And that comes from a belief that I am valued if I am needed.
Yes.
And if we're only operating from that space of I'm only valued when I'm needed, we can hold on to those behaviors that elicit that, right? So people can feel that it
Yes.
propagates right out. If you give
Absolutely.
away the information is information. Implementation, like you said, is how you apply that information in a behavior, in a manner that is effective. So you can implement that stuff and get nowhere, or you can implement it the way that it's supposed to be implemented and go to soaring new heights. And that's where the extreme value is sometimes people can run with some information and they can get to a certain point. Great. It got them expanded. And then they'll come back and they'll say, okay, I only got so far. What am I missing? Oh, well,
Yes.
now I can help you. Right.
Yes.
And that's what you do. And that's what
Yes.
I do. That's what like every coach will do based on their own genius zone. Right. So we have to be mindful about all kinds of different things in our lives. And, mindfulness is a big thing with my business, is really being present and really understanding what's going on, evaluating things and keeping a conscious level. So my question to you, Nancy, is what is your favorite mindfulness practice or technique? What gets you through the day, the week, the year?
Good question. Well, first, my calendar. There's 168 hours in my week. I make sure that it's filled completely. And when I say it's filled, it doesn't mean it's all business, right? It's filled with my personal, my business, my family. So personal is myself and family, right? There's some distinguishes. There's taking walks in the morning and at night, praying every day, thanking the Lord for everything that he's given me and thanking him for what he will be. And family. It's really important to not remember family. And life is not just about money, money, money. Money is great. And I'm not saying, like it's not important. It is. But family is even more important because without family, you have nothing.
Right.
And yes, without money, there's certain things, but you could make money in all kinds of things. If you don't know what to do, send me a message. I'll find things for you. There's lots of things to do.
So
The problem is not what to do. It's that you have to have a passion in it. And like my business is like people like can I say I'm married to my business? Okay, I'm not married like my husband, but I love my business. Like I feel the blood and my veins growing when I'm speaking to somebody and seeing how they're growing. It's a high that you can't get anywhere else without, it's an amazing drive.
yeah, it's that I live my business, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's just so beautiful and it's so peaceful because like I don't just take on any clients. So for me, what's also really great is I don't have stress. I have different stresses, but like stress from clients, not at all. I love my clients. My clients love me. We are like very good friends, and cry, laugh, anything. We do it. Why? Because that's what makes us stronger working together. And yeah,
I love it.
I mean, out of all that, it's just important that people don't forget life is so important and don't live to work to live.
Yes.
Because, when you live to work, you're not getting much more than just money. And if money is just everything, then yeah, go for it. Live to work. But if you want a good life, work to live. Rearrange your schedule so that you get to see your kids in the morning for breakfast. I had a client that used to work 6 days a week, never saw his wife, never saw his kids. And today he dates them 3 years later. He dates his wife every Friday. He sees his two little girls every morning for breakfast and puts them to bed at 8 o'clock at night every day.
Nice.
His business tripled. Right? So we can't forget those beautiful things.
So your mindfulness has to do starting off with this organization, right? Which is so important to be organized and to map out, be strategic about your day. I do the same thing. So I've got my daily time planning sheets that I use and my weekly tallies and, all the stuff that I keep track of on paper. All right. And so I love it because I wrote down a few things while you were saying that was, the organization included all these things that I believe in is bringing a harmony and, you can say balance, but harmony is a little bit more accurate of a word because things shift around a little bit, right? You've got self-care in there, your spirituality, family, friends, all your relationships, your financial pieces in there. You were bringing in everything. And, you can tell that it's organized, it's strategic, it's harmonized, and it works, right? So that's the epitome of what you help other people do. So hearing that is you do live your business because you're putting those elements into work for you, that you show other people how to get a little bit more organized, how to look at things a certain way, how to strategically plan, and you're doing that in your business. So, I mean, that's really important.
Exactly.
If you're going to show
Absolutely.
people, you need to be experiencing it. You need to be doing it. You need to have experienced the problems so that you can show what the solutions are, right? So anyway,
Exactly.
I love it.
That was a
And
good wrap. That was awesome.
yeah, that brings us to our final question here for you is the fun question is, what is your irresistible call to action for our action takers that, if they want to get to know you and they want to like test something out, what is your thing that you can help people to, give some value to them and them to look at, work through, or whatever, and say, oh yeah, that's really cool. And I think I might need a call with Nancy.
So first, I will highly suggest get on LinkedIn and link up together. Nancy Baki, Baki. I am the only one. It's a picture of me with straight hair. You can't miss it. Number two, I'd be more than happy to give you guys all my book. But I will suggest for those that would like for me to interview you, I would love that you don't read the book, like I did with you, Nicole. And the reason, I mean, if you did read the book, it's okay. Just let me know that you did, so that I could find other strategies to put into the interview. So the main reason is because there's strategies I'm pulling out of the book to show you in the interview.
Nice.
Yeah. And I want like, okay, Nicole, you got 5 seconds. Tell me what you think. I don't want you to have already thought about it. So where you can get my book, it's B as in Bravo, E as in Edgar, S as in Sam, coaching.com. So BES coaching.com. And you'll find you can just put your name and email and you'll get a copy of the book at, it'll be a PDF, of course. And if you'd like to do a get to know each other call, I mean, I love to get to know people. I do 20, 30 minutes, just like when I met you, Nicole. Yes. And like that 20, 30 minutes brightened up our second and third call together. What a difference. Okay. Because we just want to make sure that we're on the same page. Like, I want to know, what do you do? Who's your perfect client? What do you love in life? Just get to know you. You get to know me. See that perfect fit. And if we see that it's a match, then I'll absolutely invite you to have an interview together. Now I am backed up a little bit sometimes for about 2 weeks, but those that really want to get interviewed, they wait. Sometimes I do have a little spot here and there. So send me a LinkedIn message. I'll be more than happy to get to know you. Grab a copy of my book. Let me interview you and let's take it from there. If you're ready to do whatever it takes in your business, even if you're ready to work with me right away, I still will take you through that process, right? It's not, oh, okay, let's go do that. We still go through the same process because it works. Exactly. So you're more than welcome to do that.
Very awesome. And I highly encourage you to go ahead, book your call with Nancy, reach out to her on LinkedIn, follow her, whatever it is that you need to do right now, and eventually read that book, whether she tells you to read it before or after, do it whenever, listen to her. She knows what she's doing, for real. So for everybody that's listening, Nicole, the links, the this and the that, the information to link up with her on LinkedIn or other social media, it's all going to be in the description. So go ahead and check that out below. And don't forget to listen to the next episode of the Call to Action podcast, where conscious awakened leaders listen and action takers get rewarded. We want to hear what favorite takeaways that you have from this episode. So leave us a comment. And thank you for listening. Thank you so much, Nancy, for joining me here today and for giving some massive value to our listeners today.
And Nicole, thank you again for the invite. It was such a pleasure to meet all of you guys and looking forward to meeting you guys.
Absolutely. All right. Take care, everybody. I'm Nicole Magic, and have a spectacular day. Goodbye, everyone, and thank you for listening. I hope you found today's episode insightful and invaluable to elevating your own business.